So we have talked to y'all about goal setting. We have talked to you about dreaming. We have talked about planning. We have talked about charting and how to lead your team and how to stay organized. I mean, is there anything we haven't covered this week? I don't think so. So now we are going to talk to you about how to be in the game. And y'all, I think tonight is going to be one of my favorites. It's probably going to be my top favorite. And I'm going to tell y'all, do not miss tomorrow. Okay, so tomorrow is starting at 7 Central, going through 11 Central. We're going to be doing an enroll-a-thon. I mean 7 to 10, not 11, sorry. 7 Central through 10 Central. We're going to be doing an enroll-a-thon. So all of the seeds that you've been planning, all the things that we've been doing, we're going to be putting them all throughout tomorrow, and you're going to be harvesting all those seeds, and we're freaking excited. We've got lots of stuff planned for y'all, and we have a secret guest winking again. Okay, so don't miss that. I'm super excited. So we're going to jump right on in this. We're going to be starting with Kelsey. Y'all, Kelsey's at a leadership retreat, and y'all should watch her stories this weekend because it's probably going to be super exciting. But she's still on here with y'all, so make sure y'all hype her up in the chat. I don't want to see this chat slowing down. I want to see it like on fire the whole time we're on Zoom because I think we all love that. And make sure that y'all tell her thank you for being on this still because she didn't have to be. So Kels, go ahead and take it away, friend.
Hi guys. Okay, I'm gonna actually have to take off my sunglasses because I just like have to like see everybody. Okay, but I also want to shout out my girl Priscilla. She's not real. I don't know Priscilla, but she's my girl now because she had a whisk and she was jamming with her whisk, and I was literally hyped watching her because she's here for it. And if everybody could just be more like Priscilla and just be here for it, it would be a great Zoom. Okay, so here's what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about how to execute your game plan, but then also how do you show up when it doesn't go according to your game plan. Drop a 1 if you've started the month really awesome, and then halfway, maybe 4 days into the month, you're like, oh, that's not what my game plan looked like, right? And here's the thing: is anybody can make any team. Let's just use sports because we're in the huddle series, right? We're in the preseason series, so let's continue to use the sports analogy of any good coach can make a game plan, but what separates the really good coaches from the okay coaches is the fact that who's able to adjust during halftime. Right? Because your game plan isn't always going to go as executed. I mean, as expected, it's not always going to be executed perfectly. And just like in life, right? Things pop up. Things are going to happen. Things are just going to be like, oh, wasn't expecting that, right? Oh, COVID, wasn't expecting that. Hey, guess what? We all thought COVID would be over in September. We thought it was dwindling down. And then guess what? It didn't. So we have to learn how to adjust, right? And so here's the thing. How do we do that? I'm going to give you guys some steps, some actual steps that you can take and some notes that you can take. Is that number 1, you have to understand that the crisis is never going to be quickly over or easily over as you think. And I want you to know that because how many of you guys have driven in a neighborhood, didn't know there were speed bumps there, and then guess what happened? You rode over the speed bumps and your car went like this, right? And all the stuff in the back went up and you were like, oh, I didn't know that was coming. But next time the speed bump came, you went over it and you prepared for it and it wasn't as bad. And so I'm not telling you this to be negative. I'm not speaking negative over your business, but what I am doing is I want to prepare you for the fact that all the things that you see on Facebook and Instagram aren't always going to be a reality. Okay. There are going to be some things that you have to battle through because we don't know how strong we are until we have no choice but to be strong. That's when you know how strong you are. Okay. So what we do isn't necessarily going to be as easy or as quick as you think it's going to be. Right. There's a quote, and I love this quote, and it says, you may have to fight a battle more than once to win it. You might have to fight a battle more than once to win it. And what do I mean by that? You claimed a promotion last month. You didn't get it. Fight the battle again. You claimed a number of people you wanted to sign. You didn't get it. Fight the battle more than once, right? We thought COVID would be over. It's not. Fight the battle. right? We're not done. You have to go into the mindset of say, here we are, we're entering again, and we're going through it. And so our adjustment is to say, it's not going to be easy and it's not going to be over. And we have to quit hoping for quick and easy. Besides making tacos, name one thing in your life that is amazing that came quick and easy. Your relationship didn't come quick and easy. Your relationship with the Lord didn't come quick and easy. Your relationship with your kids, your relationship just even being pregnant didn't come easy, right? It's long. Tacos come quick and easy. Tacos are amazing. That's why I had to say tacos. Okay, but that's the thing, is that I always want you guys to know that, like, if we quit hoping that there's going to be a time where it's going to be so quick and easy, then what happens is that we adjust and we just realize that we are tougher than any obstacles, right? And I think what happens is some of us have thinking hangups, don't we? We have thinking hangups, which is like the ostrich hangup, which, we basically stick our head in the sand because we don't even want to change when it's necessary. Like, we don't even want to change when it's necessary. And we just say, I probably could and I should, but I don't want to. Right? One thing that I listened to on a podcast, and it said managers lead everybody the same, but leaders lead everybody differently. I'm going to repeat that so you can write it down. Managers lead everybody the same. Leaders lead everybody differently. Another thing that was said is that the number one motivator for people is what? What's the number one motivator for people? I'm interested to hear. Money, freedom, waking up. Nope, none of that. What it is to avoid discomfort. The number one motivator for people is to avoid discomfort, right? People will do almost anything to stay in their comfort zone. And then the moment they feel like they're going out of their comfort zone, they get motivated to go back or stay right in their comfort zone, right? And when you're motivating people and when you're thinking about, okay, why is there so many people that are resisting change? Why is it that we can't pivot at halftime? Why is it that we say, oh my gosh, if this doesn't work the way that I thought it would, why can't I move forward? It's because it's out of your comfort zone. You didn't prepare for it. But the reality is you're so much better than that. You're so much stronger. You have to trust what you know. You can't say it's not happening. I've done that before in my business and it didn't work. Drop a 2 if you've done that, where you're just like, I'm just not going to look at my paychecks because I know that I'm probably not going to be that excited about it. I'm not going to really talk about my enrollments this month because I'm not really excited about it. Right? And so we just say like, it's just not going to happen. Right? There's an awesome, you guys, I love quotes. Okay. Because I just think that they're just these little like one-liners that make you think. The more that you own in accountability, the more things that you'll own. The more that you own, the more that you take responsibility for, the more you'll own, the more things you'll own. And if you think about it and you will say like, I need to take responsibility for what I'm doing or not doing. Right? The adjustment we have to make is to stop thinking quick and easy and start thinking that there is always going to be a struggle. The struggle is there to make you stronger. Okay. The other thing is that in leadership, it's always going to be required of you to get up and pivot, to adjust, to have agility. Here's the thing. Anytime you drift, how many of you have felt like you've drifted away, like in your business at all? Like you just kind of let like things slide, right? Like drop a 3. If you felt like you've just let things slide before in your business, doesn't mean you have to be there right now, but before in your business that you've let things slide. Anytime you drift or let things slide, you never let things drift where you want to be. Things always drift where you don't want to be. It goes back to everything worthwhile is uphill. Nothing about drifting is going to bring success to you. And when you realize that you have to change this, that success requires us to be intentional. It requires us to be intentionally pivoting, intentionally adjusting, intentionally evaluating where our business is at. That is where we have to lean into change, right? And every successful person in this business realizes that if they want to change around them, they need to change themselves, and they need to change fast. It's not a slow change. It's not a slow change. It doesn't have to be a process. We get in our own heads and we think, oh my gosh, I think that we have to change really, really, really slow, where it's a process that I'm going through. No, it's not. Your life changes in an instant. Your life can change in an instant. And instead of resenting the detour that life is taking you on, get on the detour tour. Get on it, because you're seeing things that you've never seen. You're meeting people that you've never met. You're observing stuff that you've never observed. And in this detour, there's all kinds of opportunities. But if my mindset is I have to go back to where I want to go, where I'm familiar, where I want to go back to where I know, I'm going to rush through the opportunity. I'm going to miss all of it. So stop getting back to the familiar and start pivoting, right? There's all kinds of opportunities there. And so what I wanted to say is that make adjustments, and know that when a crisis comes in your business, that what happens is, and this is in Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. This is the most life-changing book you'll read. But what I want you to know is that the thing that I took away from it, and I started to realize this is where I needed to adjust in my business, is he said something to the effect of, if you rate yourself on a level scale of what type of person you are, let's say I'm a level 4 person. Okay. When I joined the business, I'm a level 4 and I have a level 6 problem. I'm looking up at that problem and I'm saying, this problem is really big because it's bigger than me. Now, what happens if I grow myself? What happens if I start doing self-development? If I start surrounding myself with people who have bigger dreams than me, if I start seeing other people's success, right? Then I grow myself to a level 7 person over time. That same problem, it's not a different problem. It's the exact same problem. That was a level 6 problem. You're bigger than it. It's not bigger than you. That problem doesn't have power over you because you're bigger than the problem. And so anything that happens in your business that causes you to pivot, it's just an adjustment. Now, what happens if I grow myself to a level 10 person? That same level 6 problem isn't even a problem. It's just something I have to deal with consistently. How many of you guys, when you first got into the business and your first distributor quit, you panicked? I suck as a leader. I don't know how to do this. I don't know what type of leader I am. Like, I just must have done something wrong. Like, I just am not good at this. I don't know how to lead. Like, I did that. I called Aaron and I was like, I just don't think that like I can lead anybody. Like, I just have no clue why this person didn't work. I feel like I tried everything, blah, blah, blah. And you know what happened? Is she gave me some perspective and I started growing myself. And guess what happens all the time in my business still? People quit. It's not a problem. It's just something I deal with. And I know that I bless them in and I bless them out. And that the right ones will stay, and that there's a season and a time and people in your life for everything. But at the end of the day, for me, what you have to do is you have to be emotionally strong. That's what it takes to pivot. That's what's going to separate the boys from the men. You have to be emotionally strong. What does that mean? I'm done after this, so just take notes. There's like 5 things that I'm going to talk about. What do emotionally strong leaders do? Number 1, they don't waste time feeling sorry for themselves. Here's something that I need you to know. You can't moan and lead other people at the same time. You can't. Figure it out. Would you please just figure it out? Does anybody want to follow a moaning and groaning leader? I don't. You don't. None of us do. Make a choice. Are you going to be part of the problem, or are you going to be part of the solution? Are you going to moan, or are you going to grow? Are you going to bro? I love the word bro. So are you going to bro? Are you going to bro up? Right? Now, number 2, emotionally strong leaders don't allow themselves to be controlled by the emotions of other people. That's tough. That is hard. It's not, I know it sounds good and it sounds easy to say, but drop a 1 if you struggled with that. If you have any type of yellow in you, you struggle with that because you want to help people. You want to put other people before yourself. And I get it. That's hard. That's hard. Now, here's the thing. I'm not saying that you can't listen and respect other people's opinions, but you can't be controlled by them. There's a difference in me asking questions, respecting your opinion, listening to you, than letting you control how I lead or how I run my business. You are either leading or you're being led. That's just how simple it is. Number 3, emotionally strong leaders are going to embrace challenges. They're going to embrace changes. In fact, to be honest, leaders are just like kind of weird when it comes to this part, right? When there's a problem, they kind of start operating at a higher level, right? How many of you guys, if you felt bored in your business, you've kind of let it drift, but when there's been a problem, it's actually activated you. It's actually gotten you back emotionally involved, and it has you breathing at a higher level, right? And it says, give me a mountain and let me figure out how to get myself and my team to climb it. If there's no mountain, you don't know what to climb, right? Okay, number 4, emotionally strong leaders are always not focused on pleasing others. They want to serve others. They want to help others, but I'm not here to please you. Pleasing and serving, 2 different things. John Maxwell said this line, and I was like, dang. He said, I'm a leader, not a clown. I'm not here to entertain you. I'm not here to please you. I'm not here to make you feel happy. I'm here to make you better. And I was like, oh my gosh. Like, and if you have a team that's saying to you, you're so wonderful, I couldn't do without you, that's so ridiculous. Stop feeling that need. And I have felt that need before. That's why I know that that's a true thing. That's a true thing that people need. Like, I felt like, oh my God, like, I love when people feel like they need me, right? But here's the thing. If people need you, if they need you, and they say, oh, I couldn't do it without you, right? Then guess what? You're not creating leaders, you're creating followers. And to really win in this business, you can create leaders. Okay, last thing, and then I'm gonna stop, okay, because I know I've gone over my time. Emotionally strong leaders don't expect immediate results or answers, ever. There's no quick fix. People know that. People who have been through stuff know that. People are always asking me, hey, like, say something quick, or say a one-liner, or what's one thing that you would say? One statement's not gonna make a difference. That's why we did this week-long Zoom series, because one Zoom, you guys know you've gotten off a Zoom before and you felt so inspired, but you haven't implemented anything. And so that's why we're doing this back to back to back to back. That's why I'm here when I'm in Arizona on this Zoom, because I know that I'm serving you. I'm serving you. And it's not about me, it's about you. It's about you taking what we're telling you, every single person on here who has ever spoken on this Zoom, what we're telling you and saying, I need to make a change in my business and implement it. And I'm not expecting it to be easy, and I'm not expecting it to be fast, and I'm expecting to fail at it first, but I'm going to keep going until it's done. Until it's done, right? Until it's done. And so I think that it's a lot deeper and it deserves more than one Zoom. And that's why we gave you this. Okay, I'm done. I love you guys.
So freaking fire. I knew this was going to be good, so good, because guys, you're going to have to learn to pivot so many times in your business and learn to really check yourself and check your leadership and check what you're pouring into your team. And I think that that was a super good perspective change, and just a different view of a perspective for a lot of you. So if you got value from Kelsey. Drop a 1. Tell her how much you love her for doing this, because she didn't have to do this, but she still did it because she wanted to show up for each of you. So we love you, Kels. Go have fun. Go enjoy your retreat. And we'll see you tomorrow. Okay, Rachel Jones, actually AKA FBI. Take it away, friend.
Am I supposed to talk with these on or not?
I mean, maybe just the intro. It makes it a little bit more special. Yeah.
And the thing is my good sunglasses are in my car, and it is cold in Tennessee. So here, we'll see how long I last with this. But guys, I look so salty, and I got like 20 notifications of all you guys tagging us in our Instagram stories, and I'm looking, and my like lips are like pressed, and I'm like looking like a bee. And I'm like, wow, these are rough. These are really rough. But you guys, I want to know real quick. This is a really good topic, you guys. This has me fired the heck up. I really want to know at the end, not now because I'm about to have you drop numbers, but I want to know which one has been your favorite. It's been really interesting to me which series has been your favorite. But okay, real quick, you guys. Priscilla, we got to know on Monday, and it was the end of the world. But okay, real quick, I want to know which side you guys are on. If you guys have joined, maybe let's use the number 6+ months ago, I want you to write old in the chat. And if you're new and you've joined within the last like 90 days to 6 months, I want you to write new. I want to know who's new and who's old. And it's happening so fast, I don't even know. But it looks like it's pretty much both, which is what I kind of figured. Okay, so you guys, here's the deal. Mine might be more so towards you oldies, okay? Because it's hard. This is so hard. I want to talk about falling short. And I want to talk about just like the feelings wrapped up in that and what to do to kind of pivot. I've been hearing pivot. I've never used that term, and I'm really digging it. So now I'm probably going to say it all the time. But you guys, I want to talk about this year. Let's keep it fresh because this was the last promotion I was shooting for. And you guys, I had a really good beginning of the year, and you guys are about to too. It's coming. We are close to the finish line, and boom, we start over with a new marathon. And I am so pumped. If you guys have not been around for a beginning of the year, it is automatic. It is incredible. I say that if you have not stopped working. If you guys are going to coast the rest of the month, it's not going to be as automatic as it is for us, but it's really great because it's like the flip of a switch and everybody's gung-ho and ready to go all over again. New goals, new money, everything. Okay, so I had a really good beginning of this year. I went on my 2.0. Remember when you hit ambassador, you get to turn around and start over and open up a second account in your name. It's literally Rachel Jones 2.0. So I started all the way over. And in December of last year, I was a Ruby. I already said this again, but a quick refresher. In January of this year, I hustled and bustled, and I went Diamond 2.0 in January. And in February, I went double. In March, I just kept on hustling and I went ham. And then I ended up promoting in April to triple. Okay. So I promoted to 3 leadership ranks in 4 months, the beginning of the year. And then I was set up for Prez. And I thought that I was going to be so crazy and do Prez my 5th month in, which is something I've never done when building my husband, when building me. And guess what? It didn't happen. And then when quarantine was forced and all of these things, it's like everybody was being hit hard, but our team was on a run, and we got closer. And then we got closer again, I think in May or in June, and we were very close to a goal that would have literally brought in another 5 figures monthly, that would have catapulted everything income wise. And we were ready for it. We were so stinking close. And then out of nowhere, everything lets up, and everybody is allowed to go back to work and send their kids back to daycare and all of the things. And that is when it hit our 2.0 team really hard. It wasn't the going into quarantine, it was coming out of it. And so it hit me so hard that I went from being so close to promoting to a rank called presidential, which if you're new, you don't know what this means, but it's just really hard. It's really intense and it's awesome. But you need a lot of people, and you need a lot of sales, and you need a lot of stuff in place. And so when you get really close, it feels really good. Well, then within a matter of a month, I dropped like 20,000. And then it went down and down and down and down to where last month I was maintaining double diamond as a 2.0 on my 2.0. Okay. So not only did I not hit that big goal that I was so close to and so ready for, but I also dropped a couple ranks, which is okay. I'm still number 12, and I make up for it in other ways because our compensation plan is lit. But I wanted to just tell you guys that real quick and be open and honest, because sometimes you see us on here and we're killing it and we're vibing and we're training you guys, but you don't see that we have hardships in our business too. But I never stopped, you guys. So that's what I want to talk about. I want to talk more so to the people that maybe aren't so new, but you've had really big goals this year, and maybe you either got a taste of it and then it slipped through the crack of your fingers, or you came so freaking close you could smell it and you never achieved it. And it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing when you put things out in public and then you're like, it's the next month and everyone's like, did you do it? Did you go? How close were you? And you guys have to tell everybody, oh, I didn't hit that promotion. I know what it feels like to do that, you guys. I've been having people ever since ask me how close I am to Prez. And here I have to be like, I'm confidently moving the opposite direction. We're rebuilding over here. We're not getting closer, we're getting further. But that's because there's growing pains in that. I had to weed out a bunch of people that are no longer meant to be in my business to open the doors to October having 50 new newbies. November having 30 new newbies. And let me tell you guys, I had 4 October newbies promote to Ruby last month, and it was a breeze. It was a breeze. It happened so well. And then I popped a diamond and an emerald all within the last 60 days, you guys. And so sometimes we have to remember when it doesn't make sense and we're so close to our goal and we fall short, there's just a reason for it. And you're just not always meant to understand. Was I ticked off? Heck yes. Did I call Cami a couple times just saying like, I don't understand? We were right there. It doesn't make sense. And I had to hear her in my head tell me, you know how this business works. Some people are only meant to be in it for 90 days. Maybe, just maybe, I did such a good job in the summer promoting the fact that this is the plan B for so many people that were praying for it, that that's all it was meant to be. And you guys, when I say that summer was hot for us, it was hot. It was so hot. But that huge group of people that came in the summer, they were only meant to be in my business for the summer. And that's not up to me, unfortunately. Now, mind you, the doors are open. And if we get shut down again or whatever it is, and they want to come back around, that's fine. But what would happen to the rest of my team if just because I lost a bunch of people because they went back to work and now it works as priority 5 instead of 1? What would happen to my team if I was like, well, this sucks. I'm embarrassed. I'm ticked off. I'm not even close to where I want to be. And now I have to just give up for the rest of the year because I'm embarrassed. Because let me tell you, for like 5 straight months, I kept saying, I'm going Prez, I'm going Prez. And now I just don't even talk about it, which probably isn't good either. But you guys, you just cannot let that define you. Okay. So I don't even know. I kind of feel like I'm rambling. I feel like this is not my best day. So love me through it. But I more so just really wanted to talk to the people that have had these goals. And you're just like, I don't know how I'm going to go into 2021. This is the month of Dream Board. And you guys, we talked about dreams every single day this week. And we're talking about let's visualize what's to come. And it's really freaking hard to visualize something you want when you're not happy with where you're at now, right? It's really hard for me to visualize myself at 150 pounds when I'm super not even close to that, right? But I'm moving in the right direction. And is anyone on here, I know there's a bunch of you, is any of the 403 people, have you guys ever been to Orange Theory? I know you probably know what Orange Theory, but does anybody actually attend Orange Theory? Say yes if so. Because otherwise you're not going to know my concepts, but I'll just break it down. Okay, so like when we go to Orange Theory, this is what I'm going to end with, and hopefully my analogy, it makes sense in my head. When we go to Orange Theory and we have our blocks on the treadmill, you can sprint, you can do push pace, base pace, and walking recovery. Okay, so there's 4. We know what a sprint is. You're going really freaking fast. Pushing is supposed to be pushed outside of your comfort zone. It's not supposed to be easy, but it's not supposed to be super hard. You can't breathe. Base pace is like you should be able to be there for 30 minutes. It's just a light brisk jog, and then walking is walking, right? So every single time when we're running, she taught, oh gosh, it's so hard. It makes sense in my head, but I just don't know how to like explain it. But when we're running, they're always telling us to not go from you're not going from push to walk. You're always going from push to base. And then you usually walk sometimes after a sprint, but today was really weird. But the point is, as I'm literally running, and today I had a personal best and I ran for 16 minutes and I'm talking to myself and we're literally going push, base. So you're going fast to slow, but we're never walking. And here I am in my head having to be that strong force for myself in the sense of just a little bit more. You have these goals, Rachel. Think about how cool it's going to be to say on Facebook that you ran for 16 minutes straight when you're a freaking little cowabunga. I was just like telling myself all these things running and I'm like, don't stop. They didn't tell me to stop yet. Okay, I did stop early. I stopped before 30 minutes, but I made it 16 minutes. And the point that I'm trying to make is the reason why you go from push to base is because it would be really hard to just keep going start, stop. You go really hard and then you ease back and you recover during your jog. And that's the hardest part of the run for me. It's like, I just want to walk. I really just want to walk after I got done doing something really hard. And today I was challenged so hard. I was trying not to cry on the treadmill because I'm literally going from 5.2 to 4.3. And for me, that's really fast. And I'm literally just dying, just hanging on a little bit longer. So just remember, you guys, hopefully that analogy sucked booty. In my head, it sounded sounded really lit and awesome, but I was literally just my own cheerleader. And she said something on the speaker and she was like, who's going to motivate you when you're at home? Who's going to motivate you? Why did you come in here? And I'm just like, oh my gosh. And it's just so crazy how in that 1 hour of time that you're in this gym where all of the music's playing and you're hyped, it's kind of like the same as being on this Zoom. We're together for an hour and you guys feel so stinking good while we're screaming at you and we're cheering you on. But after this Zoom, who's going to be in your corner? Who's going to keep you fired up when you wake up tomorrow? That's on you. And so it was just really motivating today, just like running and dying and hearing her just say these things. And she was like, it's on you. Why did you come in here? What would you tell your kids? Don't give up on yourselves. Yes, you can. Yes, you will. And then just never having a walking recovery. I'm like, this is just a whole other headspace game, right? So anyways, I just wanted to share that with you guys and just tell you guys, yes, run. But don't stop. Just go from run to jog when you have to reevaluate, okay? And I just want to just, hopefully you guys take comfort in knowing that's where I'm at right now. I'm having a great time with business. I'm in mass enrolling like crazy, but I've had a broken team in a sense. And in certain places that I've been focusing on, I've had to reevaluate and bring new people in, but I'm still excited. I still have huge money goals. I'm still on here preaching, even though I'm a little bit disappointed in some people, right? We have the right to feel that way, but I'm going to keep on moving forward and I'm ready and accepting all of the blessings that God is going to give me. So make sure you guys, get your headspace right. Hopefully that was good. Yep. Okay. Bye.
I freaking love you, y'all. Okay, I need you to go back and read the chat because y'all are little Rachy Rach, love some words of affirmation, okay? Go read the chat because that just exploded. That analogy was so good. And that made me think too, because me and Rachel talk a lot, okay? Us five that are on here, we talk basically every single day with issues. Okay, we go to each other when we have struggles. Like I went to her yesterday and I was like, I'm tired. Like I'm really freaking tired. My body hurts. My butt hurts from sitting in this chair. My shoulders are so tight because guys, I've been in this chair since 11 freaking a.m. 11 a.m. Do I want to do that? No, I don't. But I am in the freaking game. I'm in it. And I guarantee you that when people are out there, okay, I feel kind of, this football preseason is great and stuff, but I'm the most unathletic person on this Zoom, okay? I'm such a waste of a 6 foot tall girl body, but I was on C team every single time in sports. I tried out for volleyball, I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna get it, bump set, hit, and then C team, great. And they pull the roster out, and I'm like, oh, I'm at the bottom, great, awesome. Oh, I'm gonna play basketball, dribble, nope, C team again, great, okay. But I was in the team and I was on the game. We played one game, okay, and it was against ourselves, but I played my freaking heart out in that game. And the reason I want to share that is because I wasn't that great. I really wasn't. I sucked at it. That's why I was on C team. But I still went to every practice and I still played the game like I was freaking good at it. And you know what? By the end of one of my years, I got bumped up to B team one time because I worked really hard and I got pushed up. But you know what I still did? I didn't go in the game and suck at it and throw a fit and walk off. I did it every day. I showed up to practice even when I was kind of embarrassed for being on C team, okay? And I got out there and I showed up like nobody's business. That's how I started this business. I started on C team. I sucked at posting. I didn't know how I was going to do it. I didn't know how to post stories. We didn't even have Instagram stories then. Our Zooms were phone calls, okay? We've really had to glow up. We didn't have Host to Post then. Y'all really, really, really have it good now. So take it in. But I started on C team. I was still in the game. I was all in the game. And I wasn't that great. My posts come up on my time hop and I'm like, Cheyenne, why'd you do that? You literally posted a picture with fat fighters and put hashtag join my team, black, green, and bling. Literally, okay, if you go back to me and Rachel's and Kim's and Morgan's posts, they were awful. But we were in the game. And I don't know if you've ever been to a football game or been on, watched a basketball game, and the people, when they start losing or the plays aren't working right, what do? They take a huddle and they reevaluate. They bring out the whiteboard and they're drawing X's and circles everywhere and they're reevaluating what their plan is for the game, and they turn right around and they win the game. They don't just walk off the field and say, you know what, we're just going to go hang out in the locker room. Y'all won. We're only at halftime, but y'all won. You take it. You take the win. They reevaluate. They do not just walk off. They don't just peace out. They don't just peace out on the team, because you know what? Those games, you can't win them without having the whole team. There are some people that carry more weight than others, which is the exact same way that our team is you don't have everyone working at the same pace. There's not many on my team that work like me. That's why I have leaders. That's why I have leader Zooms and leader chats, because there's a lot of people that don't show up. but that doesn't change the way that I show up. I scheduled FaceTimes with people today. 3 people didn't show up. I took time out of my day, set it up, spaced it out, took out times where I told people they couldn't do it in that time because I had time for people to show up and they didn't show up. Does that mean I don't show up for the rest of the people? No. If I don't, I'm going to stop posting because people aren't liking my pictures or commenting on my pictures or joining my team. No, because there's people that will, right? So guys, stay in the game. Put your black stripes on your face, okay, and get back in the game. Just because you have to pivot or people don't see the same vision as you or people aren't scoring with you, it doesn't mean that you stop. I told Rachel, I'm freaking tired, but I'm still working just as hard as I did yesterday when I was freaking tired, and I'm still tired. But I know what I want and I know where I'm going. So, Morgan, you can go next, friend. Take it away and let's just everybody look at her shirt so she can tell us what her shirt means. Okay, she's really excited about her shirt. Where you at, girlfriend? She's still there? Do we need to go to Kim? We'll go to Kim next. We'll go to Rachel last.
No, I'm here. You didn't unmute me. I kept trying to unmute me and it wouldn't let me.
I did it. I got you, girlfriend.
Oh, sorry. I made you co-host.
I don't think I was. That's okay though.
Okay.
But yeah, okay. We're talking about pivoting. So I have my friend shirt on, of course, obviously. If you know Friends, you'll get the reference. Okay, so I wanted to talk to y'all tonight about pivoting. And yeah, I can't really see y'all, but that's fine. I don't want to take my sunglasses off. So I want to talk to y'all about keeping your team accountable and helping your team pivot, because it's one thing that you pivot, but it's another thing to help your team do the same thing and kind of leading them in that. And some of the stuff that Kelsey talked about is exactly what I was going to say, and some of the stuff Rachel says is what I was going to say. And we all do the same thing. We've all learned the same types of things, and we've all had to pivot ourselves. And I think just kind of duplicating that and teaching your team how to pivot and putting yourself back in their shoes, where right now maybe you've been in the business when you're one of the people who put old in the chat earlier, and you're one of the people who's been in the business for 3 months or 3 years or whatever, and somebody that's brand new has something happen and you're like, okay, it's no big deal, move on. Well, you had the same issues then, and you have to help them and guide them from a place of knowing what they're going through. Does that make sense? Because right now, you might not. Somebody said, can you put me on speaker view? Shay. I just saw that. I didn't know if you saw
What
it.
happened is someone logged in as you, so there's another Morgan Martin on here. So I made them co-host.
Oh, I was like, I definitely was not co-host. That was really weird. My team all has my login, so it's probably somebody on there. Anyways, so whoa. Okay, okay. All right, I'm gonna fix that. So anyways, wow. Okay, I'm really close to the screen. I need to back up a little bit. I didn't realize I was like all up in your face. Put yourself back in their shoes and remember when those things happen to you for the first time, because I think we can become a little callous to those things being a big deal. Because for me, somebody tells me no, I'm like, okay, cool, no, like who's next, move on, no big deal. But I have to help my team pivot. And so some of the things I want to talk about first is times that you have to adjust, times that you have to pivot. So put a 1 in the chat if you have ever had life happen in this business. If you've ever lost a loved one, you've lost a job, you've gotten a job, you've moved, you have, anything, life happened, you had a baby, you lost a baby, you had life happen, okay? Put a 1 in the chat. I have had all of those things happen that I just named. So I want to remind you that those are times where you have had to pivot, and I want you to think back to what you did in this business to pivot in that situation and help your team do the same thing, okay? What about put a 2 in the chat if you've ever had a distributor quit? And this isn't like a vent sesh. This isn't like a whine and moan thing. I just want you to know that number 1, you're not alone. And number 2, that if you've had that happen to you, you're in an advantage that you get to help other people who are going to go through the same thing as you. You now have a testimony in ways that you can help your teammates when they experience the same thing. And you can say, hey, I had that happen too, but here are some things that helped me get through that, and that's when you're going to pivot. What about whenever customers turn off their orders? Put a 3 in the chat, right? Like everybody's had that happen. Put a 4 in the chat. If you, thought people were going to sign up and then they didn't. And you had like counted them in, you were so hyped, you're already putting them on your chart. And then they were like, nah, I'm good, or they ghosted you, right? Okay, we all have those moments in our business, whether it's a big thing or a small thing, where we've had to adjust. And I really want you to remember those things and jot those things down, journal about those things, tell your teams about those things. One of the best things I've learned in leadership in the last year and a half is vulnerability. And when I pretend like everything is okay and I pretend like I've never had those things happen because I either forget when I had to go through those things, or I just don't want anybody to think that like, oh, all my distributors are going to quit. When we talk about, hey, have you ever had that happen to you? I brushed over a lot of those things. I swept them under the rug. And so a lot of my team couldn't relate to me because they thought that I had everything going great. They thought that everything was fantastic for me 24/7. And so I had to remind them, no, I've had those things happen before. And part of that is the speed bump thing that Kelsey was talking about. I did coaching calls today too with my new girls, and I told all of them some things that they were going to experience in this business to tell them those speed bumps ahead of time. And I said, hey, in this business, you're going to feel discouraged. You're going to feel this way. You're going to feel that way. You're going to feel, like overwhelmed. And I want you to come and tell me. I want you to communicate that with me. And I told them those things, not because I wanted to speak that over them, not because I'm being negative Nancy, but because I know that if I tell them those things ahead of time and they hit that speed bump where they have adjusted, they've got their seatbelts on, they see it coming, they glide right over it, versus taking that seatbelt off and hitting that sucker at 60 miles per hour, they're going to be a little shaken up, right? And they're going to be like, whoa, I feel overwhelmed. Wait, does that mean that this business isn't for me? Wait, I don't know how to move on from here. They hit a brick wall. But if you can continue to tell them ahead of time, hey, you're going to experience this thing, it makes pivoting and adjusting so much easier when they see it coming ahead of time, instead of like just smacking it in the face when it gets there. Does that make sense? So sorry, I can't really like see my notes. Let me see what I was gonna say. Okay, so the other thing too with helping them adjust and keeping them accountable for their goals, do those coaching calls. Shay was talking about that. I was talking about that. I know Rachel does that. Kim does it. Kelsey does it. We all do coaching calls. And what that is just a simple FaceTime. It doesn't have to be anything huge, guys. It's just a quick phone call, a FaceTime, a Facebook Messenger FaceTime where you just say, hey, how is everything going? What do your charts look like? Let's talk about your shopping spree. And you're giving them those tips face to face. It's so different than a text message because you see what they look like. You see their family. If you're a red, this humanizes these people for you so that like you see their kids running around in the background and you're like, wow, I want to help them so much because I know that they're doing this for their family, right? So you're going to hold them accountable and say, hey, I know your son was on that FaceTime with us and I don't want to see you quit on him. I want to hold you accountable. What are your goals this month? Let's get you to Ruby. And then continuing that through the month. Because I talked to my team about this a lot and I talked to them about coaching calls and they're like, I do them at the first of the month. I'm like, but then what do you do after that? Because it's what you do after that, the follow-up, the accountability that makes sure that they're staying on track. So get them on track and then keep them there. And that's just going to be daily consistent communication with them. What I do for my new distributors especially is I text them every day. I might text them, the next part of their training, or if they're done with their training, I'm going to text them something to post, or I'm going to text them and make sure that they've got their chart out. And so really holding them accountable is going to help them. And when you have that close communication, when you have that close line of, hey, I know that this person's there for me and I know that if I need something, they're just a phone call away, it's going to be easy for them to come and tell you, hey, I'm really struggling with this thing. And that's what you want. You don't want your new distributors to feel like they're isolated, or even your leaders to feel like they can't come to you when they have issues. You want to be that friend. So not only being a leader, but also being a friend. And people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. If you can show people that you care about them, that you know their family, if you can remember their kids' names, if you can ask them about how their job was and you can name what they do for their job, you're going to be able to hold them accountable more because they're going to care what you have to say. And they're going to know that you care about them, and they're going to have struggles and they're going to have issues, and they are going to come to you when they have those struggles. But even if they don't, you're going to them. So really it's just constant communication, clear communication. Make sure that you're texting them, hold them accountable, do those coaching calls, be a friend. And when the time comes, help them pivot, help them adjust. And you're going to do that by showing them the things that you went through. So everybody that just put a 1 or a 2 or a 3 or a 4 in the chat, those things felt like crap at the time, right? It felt like crap when you lost a loved one during this business. It felt like crap when you had a distributor quit. It felt like crap when a customer turned off their orders. But at the end of the day, those things that happened to you were equipping you for this moment right here, when someone else on your team has that same thing happen, and you can say, you know what, I've been there, and here's what I did, and this is what we're going to do. Or, hey, here's what I did, and I wish that I wouldn't have. When this thing happened, I quit and I gave up on myself, and I don't want you to do that, because I've seen how it devastates my whole entire team, and I want you to do this. You know, like, I want to see you do better than what I did. Or I did this too, and this is how I overcame it, and it was great. So that's my tip for you. Communicate with your new distributors. Communicate with your leaders. Be a friend to them. Talk to them. Have that open line of communication.
I want to add to you too and say, like, guys, I want you to think about this for a second. Also, everybody, show me your phone. Everybody put your phone up to the screen. Ready? Do this. Flip it over. Put it down. Okay, good. Okay, so when you think about, I want you to think about people on your team. So put a 1 in the chat if you are going diamond in January. If you want to go diamond in January. Look at all them ones. Okay, so many ones. Okay, if you were on my team and I wanted you to go diamond, okay, and I'm over here going double, I'm your upline, all right, and I texted you on the 1st of the month and was like, woohoo, are you going diamond this month? And you're like, yes, I'm going diamond this month, and we're so excited. And then I don't text you until the 25th when all orders run and say, hey girl, you going diamond? Hey, how close are you? Because I'm trying to go double. How would that make you feel? Good or bad? Let me know. Good or bad? Awful, bad, used, sad face, used, sad face, bad, awful, crap. It doesn't make you feel good when that happens. That happens to your 400 boxes. That happens to your rubies, to your executives, because all of us, it's a team effort, right? Like I said, some people carry the weight. Some people are just hanging out. Some people are not. But if I just went to my team and was like, hey, it's the 25th. Where are you at? I need you. That's why Morgan was talking about that, checking in with people, because it's so important to make sure you're checking on them. If they're falling off the face of the earth, there's a reason for that. They feel discouraged. They feel overwhelmed. So Morgan, I wanted you to share one last thing really quickly. How do you kind of evaluate it? Like, if you have somebody on your team that's supposed to be going Ruby and they're not, how do you approach them if they're kind of like MIA?
So if I have someone that told me at the beginning of the month and we were chatting, because I always make sure I connect to them at the beginning of the month, and I'm talking to them, I'm getting their game plan together. They say, I'm going to go Ruby. I'm all in. I want to do this. And then I don't hear from them. Remember, I'm texting them every day. This is my responsibility to make sure that I am up their butt, basically, for lack of better words. I am lovingly stalking them every single day to make sure that they have what they need, to make sure that they know what they need, and to make sure that they know how to get it. And so if I'm messaging them and I'm not hearing back from them, it's not as common. I will say, if you start doing coaching calls, this happens a lot less often because you have that friendship, you have that connection, you're going to get ghosted a lot less. But I always assume if I'm not hearing back from them that they're probably discouraged, and I don't know why. And maybe it's for no reason. Maybe they're just like in their head, they're really like, oh my gosh, I really want this so badly that I'm psyching myself out and I'm scared that I'm not going to get it. Maybe that's all that it is. I'm going to assume they're discouraged. So I'm going to reach out to them and I'm going to say, hey girl, is everything okay? Is there something going on in your life? Like, I haven't heard from you. And we've created that connection on that first FaceTime where I've gotten to know them, and I can say that, and I can say, you know, hey, is your family okay? I haven't heard from you, and that's not normal. I just want to make sure that you're doing all right. And then maybe they'll answer me then and say, you know what, we had a sick family member and I didn't, like, all this stuff going on that I had no clue about. Okay, I'm going to assume the best. I'm not going to assume that they just don't want this and screw that and I'm moving on. You don't want this, I'm going to find someone who does. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go to them and I'm going to say, I want to help you. And I understand that you're going through a lot right now, and I'm going to tell them how to pivot. And that's where I'm going to say, hey, I've been through that, or hey, I'm going to find someone who has. I'm going to see what they've done, and I'm going to try to give you some tips on how we can move forward. Is that something that you want to do? I'm not going to push you to move forward if you don't want to. And I'm not telling you to move on. I'm telling you to move forward. And so I would love to be there if you are ready. And then maybe it's just that they're discouraged. Maybe nothing happened. And maybe, you know, or maybe they still ghost you. I'm going to try to call them. I'm going to try to FaceTime them. I'm going to get on the phone with them and say, hey, what's going on? Talk to me. Talk to me. I wanted you to communicate. If you're overwhelmed, you're supposed to tell me. Tell me those things. And then I don't say, okay, well, you don't need to feel that way. You don't need to feel overwhelmed. Oh, you shouldn't care about the no's. I'm not going to say that because their feelings are valid. It's okay to feel like it totally sucks when someone tells you no. It's okay to be overwhelmed. I get overwhelmed. This whole Shay the other day, I was like, I'm overwhelmed. What do I do? Fix me. Like, we get overwhelmed, right? Like, you have those days. Don't tell them that it's not okay to feel those things. Say, I totally get that. I've been there before. Or I totally get that. That's where I'm at right now too. But I'm going to help you through this, and we're going to get through it together. And how about we set an accountability group? What if we both get on a Zoom before you go to work, you know, and think about things that y'all can do together to create community so that when she feels overwhelmed, she knows she's not alone. And she sees you overwhelmed and doing it anyway. She sees you nervous and doing it anyway. She sees you scared to death to claim diamond, but you're doing it anyways. And so just being that leadership, being that accountability, lovingly stalking them. You're not going to, like she said, text them on the 25th and be like, oh, so how's everything going? You're going to text them every day. You're going to know as soon as things start to go sideways, you're going to catch it right away because you know them well enough to know what's normal. And also you're texting them every day. So if they don't start showing up, if they stop responding, you're going to catch that quickly. You're going to notice.
So good. Thank you so much for that. I love that tip. Okay, Kim. You got this, girl.
All right, you guys. Who's with us right now still? Like, drop an I'm committed in the chat if you have been on for all 5 nights so far. I want to see it. I want to see the names that have been popping up because I'm already like recognizing some faces. I feel like everybody on here is my own team. Like, I feel like we're family. Like, we've been through a lot this week. We've cried, we've laughed. There's been a lot of things happening, a lot of growth, a lot of breakthroughs. Oh my gosh. I'm so proud of you guys. I really, really am. And just hang in here for another 10, 15 minutes with me. And then tomorrow we're going to have some fun. Okay.
Can you show us the robe mood?
Oh yeah.
Show us the vibe.
Yeah. I thought it'd be like a funny, cute thing to do, but then I was like, this kind of like Hugh Hefner vibes when I put like my sunglasses on. But you guys, I have a full, don't worry. I'm not going to like, I have a full blown robe on right now. I'm just living my best life. And I want you guys to see that literally I've been in my pajamas all day because this is the life, because we get to do this. Because when you take all the advice that we have and you apply it, and you know, you're a steward and you're humble and you say, okay, well, these are the things I can see where I can have growth on and where I can, you know, where my team can benefit and all sorts of things like that. You know, that's where growth is. And I really am. I've just been sitting here looking through all the pages and the names and just honestly so proud of you guys for showing up. Seriously, tomorrow's going to be a big day. I'm so excited. So I wanted to, well, first, I've learned a lot tonight. Number one, like, I need to go to Orange Theory. I need somebody screaming in my face. I'm missing that in my life, and I think I need it now. Number two, Morgan is just a badass with sunglasses on. Like, I don't know, it takes you from like a 9 to a 15 in terms of like how serious you are. And Shay, I just need to like Amazon Prime you like a better cushion for your chair so your butt doesn't hurt, because we're just getting started, girlfriend. Like, this is just the beginning. So anyways, all right, let's get to business. Let's get together for another like 10 minutes or so. So I wanted to share with you guys something that I went through going ambassador, and you guys can apply this to any of your promotions. It was a big lesson that I learned when I hit that promotion, and when I didn't hit the promotion is really when I learned the lesson. But as a lot of you guys know, I went ambassador this past June. Okay. So I had been in the business for 5 years. I had been, you know, climbing ranks, doing the things, dropping, you know, losing teammates, the whole thing. We're business owners. We've all been through it. You know, that journey up to ambassador and stuff, it was honestly hard, but I wouldn't trade it for the world, because I've grown so much with every
time I fell on my face, with every valley I walked through, with every broken relationship that came out, you know, like there's some hard things that you have to go through, because this business really is a direct reflection of yourself. It's such a mirror. And, you know, that's why we take this business so seriously, and why it gets hard on ourselves, I think, and why we take a lot of things personally. Whereas you go to your job, you know, you're going to wake up tomorrow, go to your job, and you're not going to take anything personally because you're doing your job, right? But with this, there's just so much, it's just a mirror, you know what I mean? Like you look at it and you're like, I'm taking this hard, and this person said no, and this person quit, and why am I not moving as fast as that person? And why does this feel so hard right now? You know, but you don't go to your 9 to 5 and think those things, right? Because you're just doing the work. And I'm just encouraging you guys to fall in love with this process. Like stop putting so much damn pressure on yourself. Because when you do that, like it takes the joy out of this, it takes the fun out of your team, and the attraction that you're bringing, that you're putting out there, or the energy that you're putting out there, you're just attracting people that are also going to take this seriously. So just, you have my permission tonight. I don't know if anybody's ever told you that, and I feel like my robe is now going to fall off. So hang on, let me just pivot and put my little thing on. Hang on. All right, so my notes. Let's go back to the notes. So it's late here in the Eastern Standard Time. It's 10 o'clock. All right, so notes. I put it out there that I was going Ambassador Diamond in May. I was loud about it since the last week of April. I always like to tell my team, and I don't know, this might shift your mindset too, but the last week of every month, I always pretend that it's like extra credit to the next month, if that makes sense. Like I never treat that like the last week of the month. I'm always like, well, this is going to count for January. Like anything I do this last month, the last week of December is going to count for January. So I always put my goals out there to my team the last week, like before the month is over, because I don't want to just like we're doing right now in preseason, guys. You're putting your stuff out there, you're getting the stuff together and prepped and ready the month before the boom, right? I do that the first week before the next month. And my team knew we were going for it. We rallied the troops, you guys. I had mind, body, soul. Like I thought, like I really truly felt as though Jesus came down to me, looked me in the eye and said, you're going in May, like this is happening, your team, like this is, the stars are aligning and this is what's happening. I said, yes, God, it's happening. So I took that vision, I took that promise, you know, I felt it was like a promise, and I ran with it. We were so stinking far, you guys, like, and I need to share this with you because this isn't just for Ambassador, and I'm going to relate it back to my other promotions here in a second. But at the end of April, we ended at, so you need 250 in volume to go Ambassador. I ended April at 150. So I said, I don't know how this team is going to grow 100 in a matter of a month. Not sure that's actually, I think Shay did close to that when she went Ambassador, but you know, like, I saw her do it. So I was like, all right, if somebody else can do it, I can do it. You know, I have the team, I have the leadership, I have everything that, you know, I need. All I need is that little extra belief. And I had it. I felt it, you guys. So we ran for it all May. And on the 25th of May, when numbers ran, you guys, we had 120. Nope. Yep. Wait, no, I'm looking at the wrong month. Sorry. No, we had 167 and we needed 250. I knew the night before on the 24th when I woke up, I prayed to God and I said, Lord, whatever that number is, do not let me be afraid of it. I do not want to be afraid of it. I don't care what it says, what that number is, because I hear your promise. My team is running. I'm running. I know this is going to happen. And that's the number that I saw the morning of the 25th, was 167. All right, guys. So from the 25th to the 31st of May, we went, for lack of a better term, balls out. We went for it. I did not pump the brakes because I saw that number, 167. I did not pump the brakes. I said, all right, guys, we need 90K. Like, this is going to happen. I have zero doubt. This team, like, we didn't come this far to only come this far. And if you're on my team and if you went through that with me, put it in the chat. You remember, we were up until 3 o'clock every night. We did the thing because I had that strong vision casted and I did not pump the brakes. You guys, we went all the way until, all that to say, we went until 1 o'clock in the morning Eastern time. That's when the month is over here. I'm not kidding, you guys. team, my face was on Zoom just like this until 1 o'clock in the morning, still going for it, saying there's got to be a way. God told me this was going to happen. We knew this was going to happen. Well, we ended the month just short, you guys, just short of ambassador at 230,000. We just missed 250, and it didn't happen. It didn't happen. And I turned off my camera just like this, and I went MIA for a couple hours, just a couple hours. You know, nobody knows what happened behind the scenes between that time and the time that they saw my face on live video the next morning in our team page. But I want to tell you guys right now what happened when I went like this. I shut my book, I shut my phone, and I said, God, why did you do this? Why did you do this? You know, I did. I was like, I don't understand. I don't know what's happening. My entire team promoted. I had all my 3 legs. They all promoted, and I did not. Why did you leave me behind? I don't understand. And then I fell asleep because it was very easy to after a long couple sleepless nights. And I woke up the next morning and Cammie texted me. She goes, did you do it? And I said, I didn't do it. She called me and I broke down. She goes, Kim, get back on the horse. She goes, I'm giving you 1 more hour. You have 1 more hour because your team's watching you. You have lives to change. You have to show them what is possible. And I said, all right, like, I don't know how I'm going to do this. I'm like, I have no idea. How am I going to do this? And I hung up the phone with her. I gave myself an hour. And then I went on my team page and with a smile, and everybody was like, we were so nervous. Are you good? Are you okay? Are you good? And everybody was like, you went MIA. Like, we're so nervous. I guess it didn't happen. And I just said, you guys, happy June 1st. Let's go. Let's do this thing. We're going for this. We're doing it. We're going to do it because I have to show you what's possible. This momentum that we created right now is not meant to be slowed down. We created something absolutely insane. And you think for a second, I'm going to say, well, that's it. We didn't hit it in May. You guys, just because you have a date on your goal, just because you put it out there that you're going to promote the specific month, does that define you? Absolutely not. It doesn't define you what date you hit what promotion, because I'll tell you what, when we promoted at the end of June, I'm still Kim Chipak. Just because it says Ambassador Diamond next to my name, I don't feel any damn different. There was no shift in my heart. There was no like I didn't like do a spin and like turn into like, you know, Beauty and the Beast, like, you know, like this just dress, like the sparkles come down, the fireworks weren't going off. You guys, I was just here sitting by next to my computer, the same damn person that I was the minute before when my e-suite said presidential. Okay. So in all of that, in that whole story, I want you to know, you guys, that if you are determining your worth on a promotion, if you're determining your worth on a timeline for your promotion, if you're determining your worth on this business, you're sadly mistaken. It is so much more about who you become from where you are now to wherever you want to be than anything else. That's it. And when you put things out there and you put your goals out there and all of this stuff, yeah, do you have people like waiting for you to fail? Absolutely. I have so many people watching me, waiting for me to fail. And did it suck June 1st when I couldn't announce my promotion? Absolutely. Absolutely it did. But I had a whole team watching me saying, well, what are we going to do now? What's the move, Kim? I don't know. What do we do? What do we do? Where do we go from here? And I just had to show up with a smile and say, we got so close, you guys, and we fell this short. And now, just like what Morgan was saying, I can teach other people like you guys that it's okay to fall short. It totally is. That's a part of my story. But you know what? I woke up on June 1st. I was breathing. I was alive. I had all 10 fingers, all 10 toes. I had a fully charged phone. I had a business with a bomb-ass compensation plan. I have CEOs that love us and care about us. What does it matter if we promoted yesterday? or in 30 days from now. It doesn't matter. You just got to show up, guys, and make sure that you're showing up every day with that kind of heart, because I'm telling you, when your E-Suite switches to Diamond, all you, what do we call them, turkeys? All you turkeys that want to go Diamond this month, when that E-Suite hits Diamond, is it going to feel good? Yeah, but it's not going to, it doesn't fill that void. You know, it's like drug addicts. It's like, you know, it's like that addict thing. When you're reaching something and you hit it, that's not going to fulfill you long term. What's going to fulfill you long term is the impact that you make from today until your goal. I totally didn't go off of my notes at all, but
that was fire.
Hang on. I do want to check out my notes real quick, because I did have something good. Dan, actually, before you guys, real talk. If you don't know my fiance, you need to get to know him one day at an event. He's the best. Before we got on the Zoom, I said, I feel like I've given my everything this week. I have no more content to share. I put it all out. You guys, I put it all out there. And I said, what's something I can talk about? And he like sat me down. He was like, think of that. He's into running right now. And he told me this whole story about like, well, when you're running a marathon, you know, and you know, that's what you all are technically doing. You're running a marathon, you're running this marathon, and Shay sitting in her chair for 11 hours. And this, you know, like it all sounds so intimidating, you guys. But the marathon, like, you know, it's not about the finish line. It's about the talk that you give yourself on the way to the finish line. There's a reason why my team won Ambassador Diamond. It's because I didn't give up. I didn't stop casting that vision, you know? And like when runners are running, they're always like, Rachel was just saying it, when you're running on the treadmill, like you keep going. And that doesn't necessarily mean you have to kill yourself while you're doing it. Like we said yesterday, small wins are what's going to take you there. And you're going to celebrate every damn win on the way to your goal. And then you're going to get up and you're going to do it again, because you have a lot of freaking people watching you. You have a lot of people to inspire, okay? So what does that look like from where you are right now to hitting your goal? Start getting addicted to the growth, and not in a black and white aspect, but every Zoom you jump on, you guys, you're growing. It's not tangible, but you're growing. I promise you, you are. Every power hour you get on, you're growing. Okay, every time you reach out to your upline and say, what can I do better? You're growing. All right, every event you attend, you're growing. And I can't put my finger on one thing that I did from the time I just signed up as a distributor, April 2nd, 2015, to when I went ambassador. There was not just one thing that made the shift. It was those little things along the way. Okay, you feel me? So I know I'm like ending every segment with like, stop being so hard on yourself, but I really feel like you need to hear that and just enjoy this process, because you're going to be the same exact human as you are right now. Your name's going to be the same. You're going to have the same social security number. God's going to love you just the same, no matter where you are right now or where you're going. All right. So yes, there's always going to be a target to hit. Trust me. I'm ambassador, and guess what? There's always more I can do. I can open up a 2.0. I can go for top 25. I can go for top 10. I can go for, there's always going to be something new to chase for all of us in this business. And that's the beautiful part about it. So don't get addicted to the goal. Do it in a healthy way. You want to put your goals out there. You want to get loud, but do it in a way where you're showing up every day, loving it, having so much fun, and it'll come. It just will. It's just a matter of time if you just don't quit. All right, I'm done.
Y'all, that was so freaking powerful. Kim, I didn't even know that story. That was so good. Drop a whatever you want to drop. Just drop it in the chat. You're like, yes, amen. Okay, tomorrow, guys, show up here on this code at 7 Central Standard Time with all your It Works gear. Black, green, bling, white, It Works. Whatever the heck, come in with your bling glasses, your blinged hats. I don't care what it is. Be bougie. Bring it all, because we're going to have an enroll-a-thon, okay? We're going to be planting or fertilizing and harvesting all those seeds that we've been planting all week, setting you up for success. If you got on this at 9 and you're on my team, make sure to hop back on after I close this out. But I will see y'all tomorrow at 7 Central Standard Time. I love y'all. Y'all freaking killed it. Kim, that was great. That was freaking iconic. So good. Good night, guys.